I'm James Lynch, and this is my stock report for UFC Vegas 110, taking a look at the biggest winners and losers from the event. And the thumbnail gives it away yet again. It's Steve Garcia. No surprise here. Biggest stock riser on this card. First round finish. Pivotal fight. Two sort of underrated featherweights in the division. And I know Garcia wanted a more notable opponent, but he does get the main event here. And this is a great look for him. Again, Garcia showing off that power. He's probably got some of the best power at 145 right now. Very good opportunity for him here in the main event. And he comes through. 33 years old. Someone we should be keeping an eye on as a contender in this weight class. This to me really puts him in that conversation, knocking out a guy like David Onama. So super big win there for Steve Garcia. If he wants like a Josh Emmett next, or someone like even like a Yair Rodriguez would be awesome. I think Garcia has certainly earned that billing after getting a quick finish here. And to me, he is in a great spot in the featherweight division. Probably the best optics out of anyone coming out of this card was Steve Garcia getting that first round knockout finish over David Onama. And just quickly wanted to show you guys the stats here. Strikes landed, significant strikes, 33-2. So again, total blowout here for Steve Garcia. Huge win for him on this main event. Okay, second biggest stock riser on this card. People may disagree with me here. I know there's a lot of controversy in this fight with Waldo Cortez Acosta over with Andre Delija. A lot of people felt like Delija should have just got the TKO win. The ref comes in, says it's a timeout, and it's Waldo himself who gets the finish himself as a plus 110 underdog. He's a stock riser simply for the fact that he's going to end up winning. He does win. He gets a win on his record. And it's the fact that he beat a pretty good opponent going into this, and also just the fact that he was coming off a loss in a fight, prior to that, where he was on the fight prior to that, I should say, on a very good win streak. And it's heavyweight. I mean, we know how thin heavyweight is once you get past a couple of those names at the top. With the win here, Waldo's right back in sort of contender spot here, right? Like he could fight like a Jailton Almeida now after getting a win like this. So Acosta, very impressive. Think what you want, but his stock goes up whether you like it or not, because that was a very big win for him. Okay, third biggest stock riser on this card. Kind of an expected fight, but still, I got to give him his props because he did it so impressively, and that was Alan Nascimento. Really interesting guy in the weight class, a bit older at 34, but nice win streak, and also just hasn't fought that much. That's sort of why he's been the forgotten guy here, but he has now won 4 in a row now with this victory. Good to see him get another finish here. He's got some serious ground game here. Kind of like I mentioned with heavyweight, flyweight's the same way. I think a win or two can really propel you up the division. I mean, look at Joshua Van fighting for the title later this year. I think this was a big stock rise here for Nascimento. Big win for him, getting the second round finish in this one over Cody Durden. And then gonna give a quick honorable mention here to Ko. Really impressive win over Phil Rowe. Young guy coming in here. Shouldn't say too young. He's 32, but someone that I think really kind of caught our attention tonight. I just thought there was a really dominant performance. And Phil Rowe, again, the story with him is always hovering around the rankings, but never quite in there. I think Ko is this is sort of a passing of the guard as Ko, I think, gets closer towards the rankings. Really impressed with that win here tonight. Thought he looked very good in that one. So yeah, those are my stock risers. Okay, stock droppers. Already did a video on this tonight as well. Isaac Dulgarian, regardless of what happens, his stock goes down big time because of, how things look. Let's just forget about the stuff outside the cage, because again, I did a video on that. Just the fact that he lost here and he got finished, and, we're only, a couple fights removed, or, just a fight or two removed from the Christian Rodriguez loss, which a lot of people thought he won, but still, there was so much hype leading into the Rodriguez fight. He has a controversial loss there. It's kind of an easier opponent here, and then he ends up losing this one. Like, he would have been better off pulling out of the fight. That's certainly what it looked like. Dulgarian is, there was some serious line movement on Dulgarian going into his fight. So that's why a lot of people are suspecting maybe there was a fight fix. I don't know. We'll see. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But anyways, biggest stock droppers for the simple fact that no one expected any of this. And now there's a whole other controversy outside this involving betting and wagering and all that. So biggest stock dropper on this card is Isaac Dulgarian. Second biggest stock dropper is, you may disagree with me a little bit here, but Temba Garimbo is going to be my second one. And it's mainly just because there was so much, talk and even hype on him, on the win streak he was on, the whole stuff with The Rock. Like, remember this? Garimbo was winning his fights and even knocked out Pete Rodriguez. But since Luque, and tonight, I thought he could have won this fight tonight, but did not perform very well. Not good fight IQ. He ends up losing a decision here. That's back-to-back losses for a guy who's 34 now. Garimbo to me was always sort of a really popular fighter, and I think with him losing and some of the stuff that's come out outside the cage, it's not looking good for Temba Garimbo, so his stock drops that there as well. And the one people probably are going to have in their number 2 spot, that would be David Onama. He comes number 3 for me. I didn't think Onama was going to win. I thought this was a fun, like, stylistic matchup, but I didn't really think there was much that Onama was doing that made me think he was going to be the better striker than Steve Garcia, and Garcia sort of proved that tonight. But the thing where Onama's stock drop is, you know, nice win streak here, 4 in a row. I know he was trying to get other opponents, you know, ends up getting Trakaze in his last fight. That was a good one. But yeah, his stock drops also because of the way he lost. He got finished in the first round. I mean, if this was a closer fight that goes the distance, or even if it's like a later finish, I think Onama, you know, could kind of show he can hang. But to get finished in the first round, his stock goes down big time. Tough one there for the Factory X member. Tough night for Factory X, Onama and Bulgarian training partners as well. And yeah, that's you know, those are some of the ones I'm looking at. I know some other people might go like stock rise for Jeremiah Wells, but I don't know how longer of a career Wells is going to be having here. He's a bit older. Actually, how old is he? He is, yeah, he's 39. So I wasn't wrong on that. A little bit older there. Yeah, I suppose you could put Delval there as well, as far as, you know, him just getting the win, like whether you know, like just he's 10-0, like that certainly helps him too. Radke, I thought was good as well. Arteline, I think, is making some good improvements, and I thought Ketlin Vieira beat Norma Dumont, so no stock rise or drop from either on this one. I guess a drop for Vieira because she was getting closer to title contention, but yeah, I thought she won the fight. Maybe the UFC will view it that way too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll sort of see what happens there, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think as far as a stock rise. Like, you know, again, looking at like Garcia being the biggest stock riser, like there's, you know, there's so many fun fights, and we can go kind of speculate right now at featherweight. You know, Diego Lopez, I mean, I don't think he's at that level yet, but like he could fight a Sterling, he could fight an Allen at this point. He maybe could even fight, well, I think he's going to get a bigger opponent, but Yusuf Zalal down the line, is that a fight we get to see just with the fact that they're teammates, Zalal and, you know, whatchamacallit, David Onama. And then, yeah, I mean, even like a Patricio Pitbull fight. So Garcia's here. Like how about Steve Garcia, Jean Silva? That's the fight. Oh my God, that's the fight. Absolutely. I mean, you know, I know Silva's only ranked number 10, but just the violence in that fight would be amazing. 2 strikers like that. Who's the better guy? I don't know, honestly. I mean, Silva hits hard, but look at what Steve Garcia did tonight. Very, very, very impressive. And then what were some of the other ones? Yeah, Nascimento, again, older guy, but I just, you know, and I know he's minus 300. I know people will be like, oh, don't you normally not take like a guy that was expected to do this? Normally I don't. I thought overall the game was good. He sort of showed me a little bit more in this fight. And I don't think Durden's that bad of an opponent. You know, I know Durden has had a couple losses here, but yeah, I thought he would give him a good fight, and thought he certainly did. So yeah, these are, again, not a strong card. And we're probably going to have this next week for the UFC Vegas 111 card, where you're not going to have a lot of notable things happen, because these cards are a bit weaker. This wasn't an amazing card. This is not one I'm glad I watched live or went through, you know, extensively, and, you know, spent the whole time watching, because, I mean, this wasn't that like super notable card. But like I said, I think the 2 big things are going to be Garcia winning, and then this Bulgarian thing, which we'll have to keep an eye on. So like I always do, in the comments, let me know your top 3 stock risers, top 3 stock droppers. Would love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at Lynch on Sports. Thanks so much for watching. This is the Stock Report, and I'll see you after the next event.